Well, Jamie and a friend of theirs called me from South Carolina, and I'm sorry. I needed to extricate myself from a physical problem, and anyway, I'm feeling really terrible, and I look awful. So I shouldn't really wasn't dwelling on being cool right at the moment. I should be always quick. I didn't ask enough questions about you to know what things you do that aren't cool, or but of course you were being cool just by calling me. But big thing I think is cool, a lot of people don't think is cool, is working against weapons of mass destruction. I'm sort of like an old beatnik, even back to ban the bomb, thinking that well, okay, if you gotta have wars, just play by the rules, stabbing and hacking at each other with like farm implements is good enough for me. Fist fights. If you do that with your brother, every time you pull out a gun, it becomes uncivilized. And these atom bombs, I'm just not for them. I think they ought to be gone, done away with. A terrible transcendent thing would be to have its own private little army of transendians who'd just kill anybody over atom bombs and weapons of mass destruction. Terrible thing would be taking on the United States, France, China, Israel, and Iran's working on it now. The thing I've been trying for 2 days is talk about and oh yeah, as a scholar, I'm pretty good as a scholar. I recognize it. Coming on from Kennedy's time, they were trying to enforce the ideas of limited war containment, and all like that. And containment. I mean, I always said that the greatest resolution of the Cold War would have been statehood for Russia, but it didn't work out that way. And nobody wants to do business with the Russians. You got to get your money up front, and they're kind of smarmy, and nobody really likes to work with the Russians. So you just have to give up and go, well, it's just ruined. We're in a world of constant ruin. And that nihilism is terrible. It's terrible to just give up and say, oh, well, everybody told you the Russians were terrible to work with, and you just better believe it. But I kind of, there has to be good Russians. I mean, they didn't kill them all, did they? But anyway, yeah. And where was I? I went from back. But the war in Iran, which you need to be consider, is already underway. It's a cyber war, and it's a economic war. Economic war is best understood if you read the book Farewell. I forget exactly who wrote it, but it's a terrific book about economic warfare between the United States and Russia. It appears that the United States won, but I don't know if anybody's really won any economic war. Who's looking around now. Anyway, the working classes are always getting screwed. So, but the Glass-Steagall ought to come back. But the other thing that I was going to talk about as far as the economic war and war with Iran is that the contained war is just not assured, folks. And this war to be come out full-fledged in October is not going to be a happy thing at all for me, because my lifetime work is to prevent the apocalyptic riot. So on that note, which was, I could stop right there. Is on that note of being cool, and what is to be cool is to be an uncool beatnik and work against banning the bomb and weapons of mass destruction. But you could so thanks so much, Jamie, and your friend, for calling from Carolina. I'm reminded of the time somebody had a stand-up comic act, and somebody asked me for a autograph. By the time I finished talking, because I was so excited, the first autograph I was supposed to give out, they walked away. Anyway, what else? Yeah. But you need to watch out about this war, this cyber war. The one way I'd have to finish as far as the technical issue, as far as war tactic to fight cyber war, is that we need to have people actually standing in the smart grid stations, ready to shut off or route power the way it needs to go to keep it in balance. Electric power always has to be in balance. It's what electricians learn. You got your legs, and they have to always balance out, because it can be a difficult thing. Anyway, but it has to be done by humans sometimes if you want to be safe about it, because the hacking into our computers, cyber war actually could just take down our entire grid. And the only way around it is mechanical.